In the quiet streets of Rosario, Argentina, on June 24, 1987, a child was born small, silent, fragile, and almost invisible to the world. No one could have imagined that this child would one day become the most extraordinary footballer in history. His name, Lionel Andrés Messi Cucitini. The world would one day scream his name in packed stadiums, but at that time, his parents could barely afford to buy his football boots. Messi grew up in a modest home. His father, Jorge, worked at a steel factory, and his mother, Celia, cleaned houses. Their life was not glamorous, but it was filled with love, warmth, and the rhythm of football. Lionel would spend hours playing on dusty streets, chasing a ball that was often just a bundle of rags tied together. His brothers would tease him, calling him La Pulga the Flea because of his size and the way he darted past everyone. They had no idea that this tiny nickname would one day echo in every corner of the world. From his earliest days, Lionel had something different, a deep connection with the ball, like it was part of him. His control, his touch, his movement, everything felt supernatural. But there was one problem: his body was too small. At 10 years old, doctors told his family that Lionel had a growth hormone deficiency. Without treatment, he wouldn't grow properly, and his dream of becoming a footballer would die before it began. His parents were heartbroken. The treatment cost around $1,000 a month, an impossible amount for a family living paycheck to paycheck. But they refused to give up. Jorge and Celia borrowed money, begged clubs for help, and continued the treatment. Each night, his mother would prepare the injections, and little Lionel would hold out his leg. Pain became his companion, but he never complained. His dream was stronger than his fear. Lionel joined Newell's Old Boys, a small Argentine club. He was unstoppable, scoring over 500 goals for their youth team. But when the club found out about his medical treatment, they hesitated to support him. Their funds were limited, and they couldn't cover his therapy. It felt like the end of the road. But fate had other plans. A family friend in Spain had connections at FC Barcelona, and he sent them videos of the young boy playing. The footage stunned their scouts, a child with unreal control, weaving through defenders like water slipping through fingers. Barcelona invited Messi and his father to Spain for a trial. They packed everything and flew to Europe, hoping for a miracle. The trial lasted only a few minutes. The coaches couldn't believe their eyes. He was too good. But the club hesitated: the legal paperwork, the medical costs, the risk of bringing a 13-year-old from another country. Then came one of football's most famous moments: a contract written on a napkin. Barcelona's sporting director, Carles Rexach, didn't want to lose this prodigy. He wrote, "In the presence of witnesses, I agree to sign Lionel Messi." That napkin changed football forever. Life in Spain wasn't easy. Messi missed his mother terribly. He cried often, struggled to adjust to the language, and faced loneliness. But on the pitch, he spoke fluently with the ball. Every match he played in the La Masia Academy, he left defenders humiliated and coaches speechless. By 16, he was already training with Barcelona's senior squad. In 2004, a small teenager with long hair and shy eyes made his debut for FC Barcelona. When Ronaldinho, the magician of joy, saw him play, he smiled and said, "This kid will make us all retire." He was right. The following years changed football forever. Under coach Frank Rijkaard, Messi began to shine. Then, under Pep Guardiola, he became the sun around which all football revolved. Barcelona invented a new form of art: tiki-taka, quick passes, fluid movement, beautiful chaos. And at the center of it all stood Messi. From 2008 to 2012, he was unstoppable. The goals, the assists, the dribbles that defied physics. 91 goals in 2012, a record that no human has ever matched. 4 Ballon d'Or awards in a row, an achievement so absurd it almost looked unfair. With Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and Dani Alves beside him, Messi turned the Camp Nou into a cathedral of beauty. His rivals feared him, his fans adored him, and even his enemies respected him. But behind the magic there was pain. For all his glory in Spain, Messi carried a heavy burden: the expectations of an entire nation. In Argentina, fans wanted him to be Maradona, the hero who could bring home another World Cup. Every time Argentina lost, the blame fell on him. They called him passionless, a European pretender, someone who didn't bleed for Argentina. Those words cut deeper than any tackle. In 2014, in Brazil, Messi led Argentina to the World Cup final. For 7 matches, he carried the team with courage and brilliance. But in the final against Germany, fate was cruel again. In extra time, Mario Götze scored. Germany won. Messi stood still, his face empty, holding the Golden Ball award that felt like a punishment. The world saw his pain. That night he cried not as a superstar, but as a man broken by destiny. Then came the Copa America heartbreaks. 2015, 2016 both lost in the final on penalties. After the 2016 defeat, Messi couldn't take it anymore. Standing on the grass of MetLife Stadium, he whispered the words no one expected. "The national team is over for me." He announced his retirement from international football. The world froze. How could the greatest player of all time retire without a trophy for his country? But Argentina refused to let him go. The streets filled with murals. Children cried. Fans begged. "Messi, don't leave us," they said. He came back one last time, and this time the story would change. In Copa America 2021, Messi wasn't just a genius, he was a leader. He scored, assisted, shouted, and inspired. The final was poetic justice, Argentina versus Brazil, in the Maracanã Stadium, the same place where Messi's World Cup dream had died 7 years earlier. Argentina won 1-0. Messi finally lifted the trophy that had eluded him for so long. The image of him crying on the pitch, holding the Copa America, became one of the most emotional moments in football history. But destiny wasn't finished with him yet. There was one last mountain left: the World Cup. In 2022, in Qatar, Messi arrived as an old lion surrounded by young cubs. Many doubted he had enough strength left. But he played with a calm fury, a sense of destiny. Every match felt like a masterpiece: the goal against Mexico, the passes against the Netherlands, the dance against Croatia. His movement wasn't speed anymore, it was poetry in slow motion. And then came the final, Argentina versus France, a clash between generations: Messi versus Mbappé. The game was chaos, beauty, and heartbreak all at once. 3-3 after extra time. Penalties decided the fate of nations. Messi scored his calmly. Then, when Gonzalo Montiel scored the winner, Messi fell to his knees, surrounded by his teammates, tears streaming down his face. After 17 years of heartbreak, the world finally saw Lionel Messi crowned as world champion. It wasn't just a win, it was redemption, closure, immortality. Today, Lionel Messi has achieved everything a human possibly can in football. 8 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, 10 La Liga titles, a Copa America, an Olympic gold medal, and the World Cup. But his greatness can't be measured by trophies. It lives in the moments, the tears, the goals, the silence before his free kicks, the way he lifts his hands to the sky after scoring. Messi isn't just a player, he's a story, a living, breathing reminder that even when life tells you you're too small, too weak, too broken, you can still become legendary. He moved to Paris Saint-Germain in 2021, searching for new challenges, then later to Inter Miami, where his presence changed American football forever. Stadiums sold out. Fans traveled across continents just to see him play. Even as his career entered its final chapters, the magic never faded. Every touch, every pass, every goal, it still carried the same grace, the same soul, the same story of that fragile boy from Rosario who refused to give up. Messi's rivalry with Cristiano Ronaldo defined an era. 2 men, 2 philosophies, 2 destinies intertwined for over a decade. One was power and ambition, the other grace and genius. Their competition pushed football to heights it had never known before. But when it all ends, people will remember Messi not just for his records, but for his humanity. Because Lionel Messi's story isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance. It's about fighting through doubt, pain, and criticism, and still finding beauty in every touch of the ball. Here's proof that legends are not born, they are built slowly, painfully, beautifully. From the dusty streets of Rosario to the lights of Qatar, from the injections of pain to the embrace of victory, Lionel Messi didn't just play football. He became football. He taught us that greatness doesn't shout, it whispers through the sound of a ball hitting the back of the net. He showed us that you don't need to be tall to stand above the world. And he reminded us that sometimes the smallest among us carry the biggest hearts. When the story of football is told hundreds of years from now, children will still hear his name. They will still watch his goals. They will still feel his magic. Because legends don't retire. They echo forever. And Lionel Andres Messi Cucitini, the boy who was told he was too small to dream, will echo for eternity. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a trending update.